Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. Want to give my opinion on this one. And I guess Deluxe Remaster is a new way of saying half-assed remake, because unfortunately this is a half-assed remake. They couldn't build it from the ground up, so I guess they just got lazy and decided, you know what, we don't want to throw too much into it, so just do a graphical overhaul. And I'm not trying to sound nitpicky here, but this ain't going to bring the series back. There's no way. Seeing that it's going to be built with the same bones of the original, so, animations and everything like that, newer people are not, newer generation, newer gamers, newer whatever, anybody that hasn't played this game back in 2006, they're not going to like it. They're going to complain about it, even though they're making it far easier with autosaves and being able to fast forward time. I'm pretty sure they'll probably make the bosses easier, because I know they're going to redo a lot of redesigning with the AI for the survivors. I would only think that they would naturally do that with the bosses in the game, but time will tell. The new voice actor for Frank's sounds pretty bad. They didn't get the voice lines from the original, so that only thing I can think about is there's probably voice lines in the original. I played through it here recently, and I don't know, I didn't find anything offensive yet. I don't really find anything really offensive, because I'm not going to whine and nitpick about every little thing that people seem to be complaining about these days, because there's not more important things to worry about than, video games, but whatever. By the way, his redesign, a lot of people don't like it. I think he looks alright. He was never supposed to be some big shot. He was always supposed to be an everyman, or average Joe, receding hairline. I don't know if anybody cares. It looks fine. The voice acting, wasn't a fan. DJ Tolo's gone, so I guess Capcom don't like him. I heard rumors about him being union, but I also know he did Birkin not too long ago. I believe he's done other things for Capcom. Can't really remember. Alrighty, here you can see that Frank looks like he's a bit buffer than he was. Pretty big for a journalist. The game graphically looks pretty cool. It looks interesting, but that's all it is. It's just a graphical overhaul. And in this issue, or not issue, but in this area, I guess it'd be my issue, I feel like it looks like an aquarium. Not sure if that's what they were going for, but even with this here, I believe it's a whale. I don't know. It's a nitpick. I'm not a big fan of how it looks with the kind of the blue and the dark blue. And then, of course, you got Cheryl over here, which I believe that was her name. I always forget the survivors' names. I was always too busy trying to keep them alive with their brain-dead AI. You can see the censorship. It's plain as day. I'm pretty sure people have already talked about this, which I always think, are they going to take the erotic photos away? Because if anybody remembers, I know for Kent, I believe that one of the first one he asked for was an erotic photo. I can't quite remember, but it was always the first one I gave him. You're going to usually get by it. But there's also a whole story with Cheryl after you save her from the psychopath in the movie theater. And there's a conversation she has that save me, or she says something along the lines of save me, I'll do anything, and then Frank says, anything, huh? No time for that. And I'm pretty sure that'll be gone. They'll cut that out. But with that, after you progress further in the game, getting closer, there's a mission for Cheryl to where she'll do modeling for Frank, and she poses in sexual ways, and you take pictures, and you get really good erotic points for it, the PP points. I feel like that's not. I feel like that's gonna be gone. If it isn't, I'll be surprised. But seeing that they redesigned right here, I won't be surprised if they took it. Time will tell. I have no idea. I wouldn't hold your breath if it is. These may be minor things to complain about, but that's the problem. Is people are letting them get away with whatever they want, because most people see it as, oh, it's so small, it's so minor, it doesn't matter. That's the problem. You let them get away with one little thing, they will take it all, because they're like, oh, majority of the people don't care, and that's the problem. The vast majority of people gaming really don't care anymore when it comes to censorship. I feel like there's a tiny little minority of people who actually care about the censorship going on. Most of the streamers, I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying most of them don't care. They're just more worried about acting very obnoxious and overreacting to what they play or their streams. So I'm not trying to dig at all of them, but it's true. A lot of them act ridiculous. That's kind of off topic, but you know what I'm saying when it comes to the I guess you can say the masses of gaming now. I just don't understand it. People buy mediocrity like it's nothing. Like everybody's talking about the new Assassin's Creed. Watch that thing sell like crazy. I believe it was #1 on Amazon for a minute as one of the pre-orders, #1 pre-orders. So Mediocrity sells very well, and people can deny that it doesn't. It just does. Gaming has took a turn for the worst, and at this point, who knows if there's any coming back. Everybody's going to talk about the indie scene. Indie scenes is a hit and miss. For me, it's mostly miss. They're not that impressive. And I'm not trying to dog on all of the indie developers. It's just gaming is going in a very bad way. At this point, it's probably going to be easier to take up another hobby. All right, we got old Frank here looking like Dan Aykroyd. Then we got the new one with the receding hairline. I think it looks all right. Isabella from the side looks okay. This here looks like Steve Harvey. I'm not sure why, but I get a Steve. I'm definitely seeing a Steve Harvey look here. Thought that was interesting. Get that stupid dog. Here's another thing. The camera. See, obviously in the original one, I thought the camera was in a pretty good spot. Could have been dragged up maybe a tiny bit more, but I've never had an issue with it. By the look, the new lighting and all that here looks pretty good. Mainly, don't really care about the graphics. I'm mainly talking about a couple other things, but a couple other things here. The camera seems to be zoomed in more on Frank. I think it's too far. Hopefully there's an FOV slider. Maybe this is just for the trailer. Who knows? And here, again, I'm glad I paused it here. I don't know if anybody else noticed this. This is the somersault kick. And as you can see, if you do the somersault kick in the original game, their heads would pop off. Every time. I don't think I've ever had it to where it didn't. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, maybe it's just an older build, beta build or something. And maybe it was a glitch. Maybe it just didn't happen. They didn't have time to fix it or redo it. I saw that and I was like, okay, it made me concerned. Will they downplay the gore? I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. But I wanted to point that out, see if anybody else noticed it. So let's go on and see what else we got here. Lighting looks pretty cool. We got the little Cerbot thing still. The moving while aiming, I think, is pretty cool. You got the door, which has been expanded, which is interesting. I wonder if it's going to be a loading screen anymore. So maybe it's not. Maybe that's why they doubled it so the survivors could all fit through. You got the little aquarium look. That's what I'm going with. That's what it looks like to me. You got this ugly blue clock now. I'm not sure why they changed the color of this. And you got the pee-pee sticker here, which looks like they're going to be a lot easier to see. Zombies look interesting. I think they look pretty cool. Alright, I don't know what that is. What we got here? I don't see this being a... Oh, yeah, here we go. First, I don't see it taking off. I don't see it being big. I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong. I hope newcomers love the game, and I hope it brings the series back. But if it doesn't, this will more than likely be the last Dead Rising we'll see. Because Capcom obviously didn't have too much faith in this game, seeing that they didn't put too much money into do a full from-the-ground remake like they did with Resident Evil 2, which I have issues with here and there. The second part being non-existent, and Claire kind of looking ugly, and Leon just kind of sounded weak and looking kind of weak. It was a fun game, though. Don't get me wrong. It was really fun. Resident Evil 3 sucked. The remake did, anyway. But this character here, Joe, the fat, ugly cop, if y'all remember the Drew Carey show from back in the 90s, I think her name was Mimi. That is exactly who this reminds me of. And in the original game, the original voice actress sounded like her. This is kind of off topic about the whole thing, but I just wanted to point that out. And then you got... I thought his delivery was weaker than the original. I have it muted, but maybe I shouldn't have muted it, y'all hear. But like I said, I'm pretty sure y'all have seen the trailer if you're watching this video. Then Adam the Clown. I'm glad I paused it right here, because whenever time I look at this character, all I get is DSP vibes. It looks like Darkside Phil. And I'm not trying to dig at Phil and make fun of him or nothing, but dude, it looks like him. But yeah, Adam looks interesting. And there it is, Larry Chang. Switched from an Asian, I believe it was a Chinese man, and to a white guy. Looks like he's around 55 or 60. He doesn't look Asian. A lot of people say he is. If this game comes out and it comes out that he is Asian, I don't see it. I'm going to go ahead and say he's not. The fact that they did this is very cowardly. They've got no faith in that, I guess, being called offensive would either... Being called offensive or pushing stereotypes, I guess they're scared of it. So, let's take the coward way out and change him. Will his name be Larry Chang? Will this white dude go by Larry Chang? Who knows? Time will tell. But this is ridiculous. This is such a cowardly way out for the whole woke garbage that's going on, and that's what it is. I can only imagine what's going to happen with a lot of the dialogue, because a lot of it's going to be voiced now. I think everything's going to be voiced, so it will be interesting to see how it's changed. If y'all have actually read a lot of the dialogue in the game, most of the people that really love the Dead Rising series probably read it all. So anybody who's very, what's the word, like a veteran of the series is going to know what's up. Any of you that is new, you're probably not going to care. And that's the problem. These games are kind of, it's aimed towards the new crowd. The old crowd is just kind of getting pushed aside, and they want the newer, young generation to embrace this ideology of, only white people can be bad. Nobody else. No other ethnicity. Like, get the hell out of here. This is just ridiculous. A game. Let's see. You got Isabella. I think she looks okay. She looks alright. She still kind of looks like Isabella. I feel like it's a little bit too, I guess you could say, wide here. I don't believe she was that, her chin and cheeks weren't that wide in the original game. Maybe I'm just misremembering. I'll have to double check. September 19th. So it's nearly out. Well, about 19th will tell. I'm not telling y'all not to buy the game. Not telling you to buy it, not to buy it, whatever. I don't know. It's just cautiously optimistic. I'm also cautiously optimistic about Metal Gear Solid Delta, because I thought the boss looked like a dude. So we'll see what happens. I hope you all liked the video. Sorry I rambled on. This wasn't exactly scripted. Just kind of wanted to point out a few things that I've noticed. If y'all noticed anything else, leave a comment. I would love to hear what y'all have to say. Y'all have a good day.